Right then, ladies and gents, the aftermath of the Fulham win yesterday has sparked a lot of comments on social media, amongst journalists, amongst pundits. Are Newcastle United getting a bit lucky in these games, or is it because we're a very good side now, and even when we're not playing at top level, we can still scrape out the results? Let's have a look. Hi everybody, welcome back to the Toon Review YouTube channel. My name's Paul. This is your latest Newcastle United video. Thank you very much for tuning in. And as I said in the intro there, two halves to this video really. One is the amount of fans that have certainly come out and said that they're worried about this season at the minute, because certainly the Premier League anyway, that we're just not firing all cylinders in the Premier League and we don't understand why or how that is happening. And then there's the other side who are saying, hey, let's not panic here. We have a very good side here and they're scraping out results even when we're not playing very well. And then you get the select few who think nothing's wrong. But look, everybody knows on this channel, we are very honest. We'll open up whether people agree with us or not and give our opinions. And obviously we'll take a look at the Fulham game in more detail tonight on the review at 7 o'clock. But this is the Premier League season in general that sort of I'm talking about and what the reaction has been. True Geordie and a couple of other Newcastle United channels have come out and said, let's wake up here. Let's open our eyes. We're not hitting top marks yet. We're not doing very well. And we were lucky to get away with some of the results we've got this season. Nick Pope has been absolutely fantastic shot stopping. We keep missing really good opportunities that could kill teams off. Now, yesterday, last 20 minutes, 15 minutes of the game, we completely dominated Fulham, and we were the only team that looked like we were going to win that. But earlier in the game, we have this blistering start again, and then after 10 minutes, it seems like the adrenaline goes away, or we change tactics. It's like, oh, well, we haven't scored in the first 10 minutes. Let's sit back, let's reassess, and then we allow other teams to come onto us, which we did against Fulham, and they could have scored 2 or 3 goals yesterday, because we were very, very sloppy in defence. We were poor at clearing the ball. We were poor at, playing out from the back. The passing was all over the place. So it's all right for us as fans to say, oh, well, yeah, but we should have been 3-0 up at half-time. Why? Because, yeah, we hit the post, Murphy missed a one-on-one and then scored the goal. But, turn it the other way around, and in the sort of 25, 30 minutes of that first half, Fulham were all over us. And they could have scored 2 or 3 goals. And I have a feeling that if we were against better opposition yesterday, it might not have been the same story. Because they would have punished us. And they would have punished us severely. However, there's the other side of the coin here that says, you know what? We've had a little bit of a slow start to the season. We've had that before in the past where we've just had a little slow start, but we've picked up results. And we're doing that now. Last season, I don't think we win that game yesterday. I think we don't have the manpower on the bench. We don't have the players available to Eddie Howe that can come on and try and change the game a little bit. And we did yesterday. And Will Asula especially, coming on, very, very lively character, hit the shot, Leno saves, Bruno wins the game. But you know what? The problem a lot of people have from reading, comments that were coming in during the game is that everybody could see that Fulham were going to equalise yesterday. We said that maybe Toon Army comes on at half-time for Miley because Fulham were finding it a little bit easy to get through us, but he didn't make a change. And then it takes all the way to Fulham scoring before he makes the change. So again, it's a reactionary substitute instead of being proactive and noticing the problem earlier. And even if you've got to make a change 5 minutes into the second half, you do it. Kevin came on at half-time for Fulham and was superb for them yesterday. He caused us all sorts of problems, but we did not react to that. We waited until Fulham equalised and then he makes the changes. Now look, you can also say that the changes worked because we went on to win the game. And that is a positive, absolute positive. But This has happened too many times this season and in the past, where we seem to wait until something happens in the game that goes against us before we make those substitutions. Now, I genuinely think that is Eddie Howe's weak point, is identifying when he needs to make the substitutions, and he makes them too late, and he reacts to situations rather than being proactive. Now, every manager has a downside. Every manager has an issue. Every manager has faults. And I think that's Eddie Howe's biggest one. I love Eddie Howe. I love what he's done for us. I will continue to support Eddie Howe until the cows come home. But that is an issue with me that Eddie Howe has. That he's not proactive at the substitutions. He is more reactive. And it takes a monumental effort then to get ourselves re-established in the game like yesterday and to go on and win the game 2-1. But we've seen it a lot this season. We've seen it a lot. You know, this first 10 minutes of utter domination and we don't score, then we sit back in our shell. Why do we do that? Why don't we just keep at these teams? They're super fit. It shouldn't come down to fatigue, guys. I'm not subscribing to fatigue right now. Yeah, we had a game in midweek, but we have a big enough squad now where rotation can happen. He can rotate these players and he can stop the issue of fatigue. He didn't feel the need to yesterday, with obviously only one change. Ramsey coming out, Joe Linton coming in. And that was the only one. So he didn't feel the need to rotate totally. I think we'll see a big rotation against Tottenham in midweek. But it didn't happen yesterday. And, you know, questions are going to be certainly kept being fired at Eddie Howe regarding this. But certain players, they need to step up as well. You know, I think I read a good article this morning from an interview with Michael Carrick who said that Voldemar is actually a good thing for the rest of the Newcastle squad because he can bring them into the game more than what Isak could. You know, he can hold it up, he can hold off the defenders, he plays it out wide, he plays it to the midfield and then turns and we can get on the attack. So I understand exactly where Michael Carrick's coming from. But there's just something missing right now. And I openly admit that. I'm not sitting here negative Nelly saying, oh, there's a massive problem. Because I don't think there is a massive problem. And certainly not as bad as certain people are making out. But maybe we do need to just open our eyes a little bit and admit that there is a slight little problem there. Whatever that may be. I don't know what the problem is. But something's just missing at the minute from our Premier League performances. You know, has Eddie changed the way we play? You know, has he decided maybe not to be so gung-ho for the full game? And he's, you know, if we don't get a goal early doors, then we set back, we reassess the situation, and we make sure that we don't lose the game. Now, personally, as a fan, I don't think we play very well when we play like that. When we sit back and we let the opposition come onto us, I think it's a huge risk. Because I don't think we play very well like that. We're far better when we close them down, we're in the faces, and we don't let them have the ball. And when they do have the ball, we're on them in a second. That's when Newcastle United, for me, are at the best. But not when we sit back and we think, right, if we're reassessing the game, then reassess, but not let the opposition have the ball and complete control of the game. And have Nick Pope having to bail us out. It could have easily been 3-3 at half-time yesterday. But I don't know. I just think something's missing at the minute. I generally do think something is still missing. Obviously, Livramento and Hall are going to make a massive difference when they come back. Of course they are. Wissa could make a massive difference when he comes back. We still need these players back in the side. And yes, I do genuinely believe that once those players are back in the squad, I think we play a little bit differently. You know, what he's going to do with Voldemar and Wissa, I have no idea. But it's exciting to see what he might do with them. It's, you know, he could change it all around for the better. But some of the decision-making, I think, needs to be addressed. However, we won the game yesterday. We continue to move up the table. We've got Tottenham in midweek now in the Cup, which I think there will be changes, but this is a big game for us. And then we go to West Ham, who have struggled all season. And this is a big opportunity for another 3 points. You know, nobody can go into the game against West Ham and not be confident to win in the way West Ham are playing. So there's a good opportunity here. But judging by the reaction of a lot of Newcastle fans yesterday, there is mixed feelings as to whether we're doing well or whether we're not. So let me know in the comments below. What do you think? And look, don't come at me and say, oh, stop being negative, because I'm not. right? This is a video to simply ask you guys. I'm giving both sides of the story here. So I'm giving you the opportunity to put in the comments what you think. You know, have you been worried with the performances? Because I know certain comments that we get in on the channel. I know there's people worried about the performances. But if you're worried, why? And if you're not worried, tell me why as well. I'd love to get to see the opinions of both sides on this, because there is generally a divide, I think, in the fan base as to whether we're worried about the performances or not. And look, don't come at me with Eddie Howe out, because that's not the whole point of this video. And Eddie Howe is doing a wonderful job for me. So, you know, you can kiss your Eddie Howe's out up my arse, to be honest. Let's have a decent conversation in the comments below. Let me know how you genuinely feel and what we can do to put it right if you don't think it is right. But if you do think it's right, tell me why. Thanks very much for watching, folks. We'll see you on the live tonight at 7 o'clock. But until then, have a great day. Give it a like and, of course, subscribe if you're new. And we'll see you later. Take care.